are joined today by Steve Kratz, president of the Pennsylvania Chemical Industry Council. For those who may not be familiar, what is the Pennsylvania Chemical Industry Council?
Yes, the Pennsylvania Chemical Industry Council is the trade association representing the chemical and polymers industries in Pennsylvania, as well as the companies that service the industry, so supply chain, engineering, environmental services firms. And really what we do is we work with the legislature and the administration and industry to try and pave the way forward where the industry can grow and thrive in the state, while advancing sustainability goals as well.
What are some of the polymers and chemicals that are popular and created in Pennsylvania?
So really, I think kind of taking it back to the beginning, when you think about it, really modern life relies on chemistry. Everything around us is made from chemicals and then turned into polymers as well in many cases. So, people think of plastics, they think of plastic bottles, they think of plastic straws and plastic bags, but it goes well beyond that. Medical equipment, pharmaceuticals, resins for lithium extraction, components for electric vehicles, battery components, energy efficiency products for homes, on the chemical side, water treatment. It just beyond really everything that we touch in our daily lives relies on chemistry.
Why is it important to have industries like this in Pennsylvania?
Well, for starters, it's a huge economic boon. It's the 11th largest chemical producing state in the country. Produce about $6 billion in goods every year. It supports 94,000 jobs in the chemical, polymers, and rubber production spaces. It also generates $600 million annually for federal, state, and local taxes. But really beyond that, especially we had a recent example of the COVID-19 pandemic and just the importance of domestic supply chains and domestic manufacturing, not only from the job standpoint, but also from a getting products to market standpoint. We have companies right down the road. 3M has a warehouse that distributes a variety of products, including many that are necessary for personal protective equipment. You have Shell in western part of the state that's making plastic polymers that are used in a variety of industries and for manufacturing. So really, having that domestic production here not only supports the Commonwealth from an economy side and from a job side, but also it's just helpful to have from a availability standpoint as well for products.
A headline for an article you wrote reads, "Plastics Chemical Industries Miles Ahead in New Circular Economy." Can you explain what a circular economy is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first, I think and foremost, I think our industry really does prove every day that, it's not an either or when it comes to the economy or the environment. They're really leading the way to advance sustainability in a variety of ways, whether it's emissions reductions, whether it's, transitioning to using some renewable energy resources in addition to traditional energy production. And certainly circularity is a big topic and a big industry that's emerging not only in Pennsylvania but globally. And really what that means is how do we reuse the products that we're making and transform them back into their original basic building blocks that they can be used to make new products. So, for example, a lot of people are familiar with mechanical recycling where you can take a water bottle and then that water bottle is either melted or grinded and, basically formed back into a new water bottle. What circularity is taking plastic products largely, which are not really recyclable at this point. So, styrofoam, yogurt cups, and other products like that, using high heat and different methods to basically transform them back into their base chemicals that then companies like a Covestro, like a BASF, can take then and turn them into new products. So really, it's the circular part is you could do it in perpetuity. Where mechanical recycling has its limits because the more you recycle something, the more degraded it gets, and you can only do it so many times. Circularity, you're taking it back to its beginning point, so you can continue to reuse that product, which really helps, not only from getting the most value out of a product, but also from a sustainability standpoint and from a reducing plastic waste standpoint.
Where do you find the chemicals that are made to or used to make plastic, like you mentioned?
So, right now, largely chemical production comes from natural resources. So it comes from naturally occurring like lithium, or it comes from fossil-based fuels like oil or natural gas liquids like ethane, propane, or butane, and then it's processed and you process the chemicals out, and then the chemicals are then processed to turn into these polymers. And obviously I'm oversimplifying, but that's generally how they're made. And really where advanced recycling helps is we're still going to need those resources, because as the world continues to develop, plastics demand is only expected to go up. But how do we offset some of that new plastic production by reusing the plastic waste that's out there that we can transform back into these chemicals that can be used to make the products that we all use every day, like toothbrushes, carpet, bedding, things like that.
You've mentioned lithium a few times, and I know that's a new industry that's popping up here and there in Pennsylvania. Can you talk about the environmental and economic impact of having that industry here in the state?
Lithium is vital for battery manufacturing. Everything from, I have an electric mower at home and an electric blower, which is certainly newer over the last decade as opposed to gasoline or oil-based lawn equipment, but also certainly batteries for vehicles. As electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles continue to grow in demand and grow in manufacturing, demand for lithium continues to grow as well. And largely, we depend on importing lithium from other parts of the world. And lithium extraction isn't exactly the most environmentally friendly process. It involves a long period of time. It involves pits. It involves large quantities of water, and really large environmental impact. And there's a few examples of where there could be lithium deposits here in Pennsylvania, which again goes back to the whole supply chain discussion where having that local supply chain is good. But also we have members that are really looking to expand how we extract lithium in a more environmentally friendly way. Ecolab Purolite's one of our members, and they're exploring building a facility in southeast Pennsylvania that would create resins. And they would partner with another company to help extract lithium, through a more sustainable way. So really, that's a breakthrough that could be huge for Pennsylvania. Really leading the forefront of lithium extraction in a sustainable way, but also, from an economic job standpoint and also a supply chain standpoint.
How are all of these industries in Pennsylvania funded? The chemical industry, the lithium industry, the polymers, like you said. Where does that money come from?
So for the most part, it's private investment and companies that are making these investments in sustainability for a variety of reasons. Certainly society is demanding that as a society we manufacture more sustainably, not just our industry, but industries as a whole. And that's a growing theme. Certainly the shareholder community as well, and investors want to see more advances in sustainability, but also because it's the right thing to do. And our members have employees that all live and work in these communities, and they want to be good stewards of the environment. So certainly, private investment plays a huge role in these advances in sustainability, bio-based products, renewables, and as well. But certainly, looking at ways, and one of the things that we do as an industry is looking at ways that we can partner with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania through the legislature, through the administration, through the Department of Community and Economic Development, where we can partner on ways where there can be a public-private partnership to really enhance or grow these investments so that they can happen more quickly and Pennsylvanians can reap the benefits.
We've been speaking with Steve Kratz, President of the Pennsylvania Chemical Industry Council. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.